Good evening. We're getting ready for our 6 p.m. update as we have snow now finally reaching even the coast as the changeover has occurred pretty much at exactly the time that was expected. A little bit faster on the immediate coast, aside from southern New Jersey, say like Atlantic City, where they're still reporting some rain. That's going to continue to about 8 o'clock, almost to the end of the storm, which is why we're not expecting all that much down there. But the changeover everywhere else has actually occurred. So let's take a look at some of our observations. On Long Island, we're quickly changing over to snow, except for the east end of Long Island, where again, we're looking at changeover more around 8 p.m. Down towards southern New Jersey, temperatures are falling through the 30s here, but still, we're waiting for that changeover. It's not that far away. Millville's at 32, and it is snowing. Meanwhile, down in Wildwood, it's 36 and moderate to heavy rainfall. This will change over as we move through the evening. Further to the north in Belmar, we're at 34. Off towards Wrightstown, we're at in McGuire Air Force Base. We're at light rain and snow changing over to snow. Temperature is at 32 degrees. At let's see, Mount Holly, it's at light snow. It's snowing here at Freehold. Just fell under the 32-degree mark. So we are now below freezing in central New Jersey, and temperatures continue to fall. You can see the Arctic air just waiting in the wings up here. Once our low pressure system, which is right about here, continues to consolidate, which it looks like it's doing very nicely, you're going to see this Arctic air just flow right down into the coastal plain while this snow continues. And so this is going to cause your snowfall ratios to continue to elevate as we move on through the evening. Moderate to heavy snowfall. If you don't believe me, just check out the Eagles game because it is nasty out there, and really it's had an impact on the second half of the game, where we've seen some pretty good snowfall and some poor visibility. That snow continues all the way to about central Pennsylvania, let's say, out towards York, PA. We're seeing still some light snow. So this is going to take some time to clear out through the region. Radar isn't going to do very good justice on the back end of this because of the Arctic air. It becomes very fine snow and difficult to pick up. So this is why you need to use the observations to really see where the back end of this is. So you can see basically northeastern Virginia through West Virginia, central Maryland, up through central Pennsylvania. That's where our back end is, and that will steadily approach us as we move on through the evening. And to get a good idea on the impacts on visibility, we have a lot of LIFR conditions showing up in northeast New Jersey, Connecticut, New York City Metro, IFR. So what this means is that if you're flying, bad conditions, poor visibility, and this will lead to a lot of delays for flying as well. So everything is evolving pretty much as expected thus far with this forecast. Again, the real question is, how well are we going to verify with these bands of moderate to heavy snowfall setting up throughout the region? What is our snow ratio going to be? What's the snow rate going to be to catch up to verify for the forecast? Right now, let's say in southwestern New Jersey, you had 1 inch of snow so far. Then you get the steady snowfall continuing for the next 2 or 3 hours. You could pile up very quickly. Same thing around much of southeastern Pennsylvania. Northern New Jersey, you're definitely reaching verification levels. New York City, you're going to start. Now, you might be saying, hey, Steve, what about this area here? Is it going to lead to light snow? Yes, this has to form because you have heavy bands here, here, and here. So you have to have sinking air here. So that's what we're seeing over Freehold and parts of Monmouth County, lifting up into portions of Staten Island and probably clip into Manhattan. While that sets up, this will shift, and then you get this other band of moderate to heavy snowfall that will be all snow, and very intense heavy rates at that, possibly somewhere between 1 to 2 inches per hour. So this is where we're really going to see things deteriorate. So again, all the support here. Here's our upper level lifting. It's evolving pretty much as expected. You're seeing the frontogenesis showing up here at 700 millibars. At 850 millibars, you're seeing the cold air transport now taking hold, now taking over. Once we get this feature here, you're going to see the Arctic air just tumble in later this evening. And as a result, you got that strong front of Genesis and this support for heavy precipitation right on the I-95 corridor. At 925 millibars, the warm air transport is over for the Jersey Shore. Now we are transferring over to cold air transport for the entire coastal plain. So again, this is lining up perfectly to what was the forecast, which was 8 p.m. on the coast, 5 p.m. over the I-95 corridor. It is 5:57 p.m. We've been changed over to snow since about 5:15 on the I-95 corridor, and that continues to evolve. And now we see, as this strong lifting takes shape and lifts up along the coastal plain, now we monitor to see what our snow ratios are and what the rate of snowfall is. This freezing line is steadily falling. Again, now it is below freezing, so you could take this line cutting through Monmouth County, probably more down here now. So pretty much what we've been looking for, it has started to take place. So how much longer will this precipitation last? So this is for 6 p.m. This is your HRR guidance. Now earlier I said you don't want to use model guidance to justify changing a forecast at this point. You want to look at what is actually going on in the observations. Well, now the HRR is finally lining up to what the observations are showing. And so we can take a better use of this model guidance to get where the end time for the precipitation is. So we're starting at 6 p.m. We can continue snow all the way till roughly about 8 p.m. in the Philadelphia metro. That's going to continue to lift to northeast. It'll come to an end of the New York City metro by about 10 p.m. and for Eastern Long Island right around midnight. Connecticut, you're going to be going till about 2 a.m. or so. A lot of this back here, though, is going to be very light, so I don't expect a lot of additional snow accumulation on the very back end of this. But we got through this evening some pretty good bands of moderate to heavy snowfall to get through for the I-95 corridor, to the northwest of the I-95 corridor. So we're going to see some pretty good catch up on the snow accumulation potential. We'll see where we end up. So again, the bare minimum for verification, if you're interested, because of course I'm keeping an eye on it because I want to verify. We got 1 inch on the coast here, right? That includes like Toms River, Lakewood, Atlantic City, Ocean City, should I say, Wildwood, off towards the eastern 2/3 of Long Island. Then you got your 4 to 8 inch potential, again, on the I-95 corridor. We'll see how that works out. And then your 6 to 10, more likely, definitely over 6 inches in these regions. Back here, we're looking at 3 to 6. We'll see how that works out once we get all the observations. So that is your update for 6 p.m. I'll see you again in an hour.